Hey y'all, welcome back to the Becky Hill email dump drama. I'm McKinley Molasaw, criminal defense attorney in Austin, Texas. If you haven't been following along with the previous videos in this series, you can go to my playlist and check out the Becky Hill email drama. Today we are doing number 4, as I mentioned, and I thought we would start off with a little preview of what's to come. Oh, but before we get into that, I should mention I did a very bad thing. I might have ordered my own copy. I hated to do it, y'all. I really, really hated to do it. I hated to give Becky any money, but I just couldn't help myself. I was watching this other YouTuber, and he mentioned that he had gotten the book after it was unpublished and that you could just go on Amazon and get it. And I just couldn't help myself. I went on last night and it said it could be here this morning. And so I did it. I ordered it. So stay tuned for my thoughts on this bad boy. More to come. Okay, so it looks like today one of the things we're going to be looking at is kind of the fallout from this, the allegations made in the motion for new trial filed by Murdaugh's attorneys. And although she says that she pays her attorneys a lot of money to keep quiet, like I guess so she can keep quiet, she just cannot help but respond back to so many emails from the public and from media, really commenting on the motion for new trial and the allegations and slinging mud at Alec and his team and saying just not nice things about Jim and Dick and obviously Alec. Sorry, I had a little coughing fit. It seems like in the days after the motion for new trial, she is doing a lot of emailing with Neil Gordon and with the media as well, but she sends a lot of documents to Neil regarding the Netflix documentary and some of the contracts and agreements that had been signed between her and different media outlets or, producers. Specifically, it seems the ones regarding her allowing for the filming of the location, so the location agreement and that like special addendum that she had or had integrated into the location agreement regarding her being able to, well, I obviously haven't seen the attachments. I guess I could request the attachments. I have not done so. Someone should do that. But the attachment, yeah, somebody should definitely do that. I don't know why we don't have the attachments. But yeah, I'd really like to see this one. So I wish somebody would go ahead and get it. But the agreement where she was going to get an interview and like to promote her book. And I don't know if that was actually included in the agreement. It's very unclear from the emails back and forth. But if y'all remember me discussing the emails between she and Melissa Gordon and Neil Gordon, with all of them discussing how in exchange for the use of the courtroom as the filming location, that she should be able to promote her book, which is real sus. So it looks like she's forwarding that to Neil again after the motion for new trial, which I found kind of odd. She also sends an email to somebody asking for the jury list, which I again thought was odd. And she's responding to media about they're requesting comments, and they're also requesting her to come on and talk, and she's responding back to them about how she'd love to in the future but can't right now. And she is also canceling some like book tour plans, or book appearance plans. She also gets messages from the public about people slandering her on TikTok, and she says she forwarded it to her attorney. However, I have not yet come across her forwarding it to her attorney. Maybe she did, if she was wise, she did that on her Becky Boo email account, the Yahoo account, rather than her county email account. But she said she sent it to them, I guess, so that they can, look into it. And I don't know what she thinks she's gonna get out of that. But anyway, I thought it was interesting because she's clearly checking up on what people are saying about her on the social media platforms. So, but I was on a show yesterday on Excited Utterance, and she had actually gone and looked up this specific TikToker. And this TikToker was obviously made aware of the fact that she was mentioned in these emails, and she let it be known that she has not received anything regarding this. So it appears that the attorney didn't do anything about it. I don't think that there was anything to be done about it, but I don't know. I haven't seen the TikTok. Who knows? She's also corresponding with somebody from Mail Online, keeping her in the loop, but off the record, completely off the record, which is crazy to be having these talks about a case which now involves her, that she has attorneys involved in, that she is potentially in some trouble about, and then talking about it with media at all, and then just saying it's off the record. Like, not a good idea, I would think. She also sends a message to somebody saying, maybe I will reach out to Eric Bland, which is weird. There's also emails from Melissa Gordon, that's Neil's wife, and I guess their partner in this book situation, where she says that she took the Facebook page down, or she made it private, or I don't remember. We'll get to it. And also where she says that she unpublished the website that goes along with the book per Becky's request. There's some funny emails that I don't remember how I ended up finding these because they're way back at the beginning, but I noticed that there are emails of her with media going to dinner, and there's one where she's asking ABC, somebody from ABC, if she can watch them do their world news. I guess it's like a show or something, right? If possible, before going to dinner with them. We'll see that. Oh, and then I saw some more stuff that she actually sent to Creighton Waters and SLED and had them review. And then there was actually a response back to it, and the response is funny. So we'll look at that. And then just her sending, I went back and saw more instances of her sending those witness lists, ahead of them obviously being on the stand. So the proposed witness list the night before the actual testimony, she's sending them to like NBC, Fitz News, NBC, ABC, Fox, which is just weird. I always wondered during that trial how like certain news outlets had how they knew who was taking the stand the next day. Now I know. Now I know. And then I also just, because I'm so petty, so petty, I went back and looked. I wasn't like doing it intentionally. It's just as I was scrolling randomly through some of these emails, and if I noticed that they were like about the book, things like that, I did take note where they were done during business hours, on business days, and like I said, I was actually not doing that intentionally. I was obviously for like a 5-minute period, way less than that, but I took a few notes, and there were a lot. So we'll look at that if we have time. And then I also saw that there is an email. Oh, it's definitely for the book, I think. And it says it's her thoughts on Judge Newman's talk during sentencing, which I found interesting. And there was also another part of the book that she forwarded to Neil, I guess, and it had some really unkind things to say about. I thought that they were unkind. I did not think that they were appropriate to be saying about Buster at all. But it appears that actually got changed before they published the book. So somebody must have agreed with me. All right, anyway, a lot of this is just random stuff, so we should just go ahead and get into it, or otherwise this video is going to take 8 million years, and I don't want that, and neither do you. So let's get into it. Okay, let's see here. This first one, I actually don't remember if oh man, I haven't done this yet. If I shared it with y'all or not, but I will definitely share it now. Hold on one second. Of course, I'm not ready. Oh. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so on February 22nd, somebody by the name of Kelly Bishop sent an email to Becky regarding Jim Griffin's tweet not taken down. It says, Judge Clifton should be aware that Jim Griffin's tweet is still on his timeline, even though he told the judge he removed it. Also, for the record, this is not, in all caps, a retweet in all caps, which would include the profile of the OG tweet. This, in all caps, is a link, all caps, copied, pasted, and tweeted, all caps, with a comment, all caps, which he denied to the judge. And then in all caps, he lied to the judge, exclamation marks, or an exclamation mark. 4 days after the fact, it's on his timeline, exclamation mark. This is being unethical. This is disgraceful to the legal community, which I am a part of, and should be reprimanded for this behavior. Thank you. And then a gigantic screenshot of, I guess, a tweet of Jim Griffin's Alex Murdaugh trial reveals a sloppy investigation. And it's a link to the Washington Post article, and it says Alex Murdaugh trial reveals a sloppy investigation. So she sent that to Becky Hill, and what do you know? Miss Becky Hill took it upon herself, went ahead and forwarded it to the judge. Now, it strikes me that if Kelly Bishop is a part of the community, the legal community, then it seems like she would have just gone ahead and emailed that straight to Judge Newman or his clerk, but No, Becky Hill went ahead and did it for him. Because this is how she was helping the defense, or like forwarding emails regarding the defense during the trial. You know, she sent all those emails and even mentioned it in her book, from what I've already seen, that she got emails about the strategy and the witnesses during the, she said she actually got dozens, sometimes dozens a day to, she said she got them for the defense as well, regarding strategy and witnesses. And I have yet to come across one that she forwarded to the defense team. We've already seen instances that she forwarded straight to the prosecutors, Creighton Waters and the paralegal Carly Jewell, regarding strategy and witnesses and crazy theories like from the psychic. But this is, it seems, the extent of the things she did regarding the defense, like try to get them in trouble. So she sends this to Newman's law clerk on the 23rd. And she just said, just FYI. I just thought that was interesting. Okay, next up, on March 28th, it appears that the city manager of the city of Walterboro sent Becky an email saying that, first off, congratulating her on the trial. And then also asking about, like, an employee had asked about the Murdaugh financial charges being tried in Colleton County and wanting to know if she could comment on that, right? And she says, "Hi, Ryan. Thank you so much for your kind words. I'm so glad that all of us came together and made Walterboro, Colleton County shine. Hopefully, tourism will increase." Right. And to answer your question, yes, there will be some financial hearings held here. But we are really hoping, get this, Alex will make a plea deal on those. If that happens, then it will just be a hearing. If he doesn't do a plea and wants a trial, then we will have a trial and all of the media will come back again. Judge Newman is letting me know when we will hear something either way on this. Stay tuned. Take care. Rebecca Becky H. Hill, Clerk of Court, Colleton County. So what struck me here is that she says, we are really hoping that he will make a plea deal on those. I think she's saying that she hopes that, obviously she's hoping that he will plead guilty, because you can't plead not guilty and not have a trial. So yeah, she's saying that she hopes that he pleads guilty to those and that, I guess, they can avoid the financial crimes. But she says we, and then in the last sentence she says, Judge Newman is letting me know when we will hear something either way on this. Like, yeah, I'm just not sure why she's commenting to anybody about their wishes regarding Alex's trial strategy. Very odd. Next, we have a message from Savvy Moore on February 14th at 7:49 a.m. Subject, Murdaugh trial. It says, please see attached of what occurred during court. She sends this to Carly Jewell, Creighton Waters, and Charles, the sled dude, whose last name I can't say. I really should try to figure out how you say it, but I haven't. She says, was sent this from Scott Craven, a local person. Although that's weird because it says it's from Savvy Moore, but whatever. Not quite sure what was done, but I've watched it a few times. Then on February 15th at 9:15 a.m., Jason Chapman sends a message to that SLED person again, and then Gary Hill Jr. from Colleton County Sheriff's Office, and it says, "Good morning. After careful review of the video, we have determined the following. Dick's wife leans over to push trash in the trash can and misses. Moved the chair to pick it up and puts it in the can. Alec then takes trash from right hand to left hand and tosses it in the can." And then it says, on February 15th at 8:56, the SLED person wrote, but then it's blank, so I'm not sure what happened there. Let's see here. Okay, so I don't know if maybe I don't know how to read emails correctly, but it also says on February 15th at 9:37 a.m. that Charles wrote, and then it just has his like signature line, right? And then it says being forwarded message from Jason to Charles, CC Gary Hill. And then somehow on February 15th at 14:32, Becky Hill, and see, I don't even see where she was included in any of this, so there's obviously stuff missing, right? But it says that she responded back to Charles at SLED, and it's got CC'd on there Neil Ryan, which I guess, or Ryan Neil from SLED, Peter Rudofsky from SLED, David Owen from SLED, Ryan Kelly from SLED, and then it is the forward of the Murdaugh trial thing, and it says, "Wait a minute, Holly is Dick's wife?" Question mark, exclamation mark. And then we never see a response, but I believe that Holly works. I know that there's correspondence earlier on in these messages where Becky is talking to Holly, and Holly apparently works at Dick's office, and so I don't know. She was really surprised to find out that Holly is Dick's wife. I don't know if that's true, but I just think it's weird that I just don't know how she got re-included on this message, because I don't know, just interesting. Okay. Also weird that she just sent in a random video of Alec throwing trash into the trash can. Like, are you for real? She had SLED look into it. She had SLED look into it, but she had also included Creighton Waters. Like, I mean, she thought she was on the prosecution. She thinks she's like a member of the prosecution. She's on their team. Strikes me as odd. Okay, let's see here. On February 14th, she writes Neil and says, "Yes, I've watched all 3 docuseries. Actually, let's start off with what he said first. On April 14th at 7:28 a.m. on Friday, he said, "Okay, I'll research it and add it in there for you to massage. I don't think the docuseries stuff in the sense of our book is that important. If we need to fill more, we can revisit. How was concert? Goal is to have a total of 3 more chapters by Sunday. 12 total." 12 total. Any word from Cousins about bootlegging, etc.? We've already talked about this bootlegging stuff. That's just... Well, okay. I should go back further. Sorry. Okay, he asked her, he says, I thought of two other media aspects on April 14th at 6:09 a.m. He says, one, FOIA requests. Did you get many and any interesting ones? I think I've gone over this in other videos, but this kind of adds to it a little bit. So that's why we're going back over it again. He says, share with me that story again of the mix up at the beginning with the podcaster guy whose podcast partner is Seton and issues related to charging for copies, etc. Two, did you get to watch many of the docuseries on HBO, Netflix, Hulu, or others? And what did you think of them coming out before the trial? Have you heard of any follow-ups planned about the trial? Thanks, Neil. She says, in response, she says, Matt Harris is the reporter who wrote article about the copy fees. I'm trying to find article, but you may find it faster. It was in the Post and Courier, and a female reporter without name, Hobbs, wrote it. What? That doesn't make any sense, or it doesn't to me. I think in July or August of 22. Then he says, okay, we said that about then he responds to that part about the added in there for you to massage and the thing about the needing 3 more chapters by Sunday. It's Friday right now. And he's saying he wants her to have 3 more chapters done by Sunday. And this is only April 14th, so a little over a month after the trial ended. And remember, she went to New York for a week right after the trial. So I'm not sure how much writing she was getting done in New York, right? Okay, she says, Neil, mind you, she sends this at 12:39. I mean, technically, I guess she was on lunch or something, maybe, perhaps, on Friday, April 14th. Neil, yes, I've watched all 3 docuseries. I felt like the last one, the Netflix, was the best and accurate. Of course, she's watched all 3 docuseries. There is so much being covered up, ... Still, will we ever know the truth? I'm not sure, ... Something in me tells me Alec will tell at some point. I think somebody will. I haven't heard anything about any other series. From what I'm being told by lawyers around me, their opinion is that this case will not be granted another trial. Pop! Let's hope that's the case. 12 chapters by Sunday sounds doable. I'm working hard on this end. Oh my gosh. So that's what the 12 chapters think. They want to be done with 12 chapters by Sunday, and this is April 14th. Like, oh, no wonder why. No wonder why the book is as it is. Craziness, I tell you. But yeah, how's that? I mean, obviously, we don't know if he's going to be granted a new trial yet or not, but she says, let's hope that's the case. She might have herself to thank in this book, potentially, to thank for actually being the reason he does get a new trial. So we shall see. Okay. On Saturday, April 8th, she sends her thoughts on Judge Newman's talk during sentencing. Sorry. So I think this actually might have been during the time that she was in New York. So maybe she did get some writing done there. Or this is like when she got back. So it says, and this was to Neil, right? Sitting in the moment of the speech Judge Newman gave to Alec Murdaugh, there are so many thoughts that go through my mind. I really want to move this so I can see it better, but then y'all won't see it. So not going to do that, not going to do it. Okay. I'm aware of the judge speaking behind me, the TV camera's eyes on us throughout the courtroom. Punctuation is bad here, guys. The family of Murdaughs in the courtroom, the pensive stare of each and every person sitting inside the courtroom, still in shock of the fact that the verdict against Alec Murdaugh was guilty. My mind is racing with thoughts of paperwork that will need to be done as soon as the judge sentences Alec. My ears go in and out hearing the words that Judge Newman is speaking to Alec. And Alec is standing right in front of me, staring straight ahead. His brows are furrowed, intent, listening, no emotion whatsoever. And I hear Judge Newman ask him if he has anything to say. Everyone, including me, is on the edge of our seat, paying close attention, hoping he will tell something, will admit to any hint of evidence. Will Alec confess? But we know that no defendant ever admits or confesses. The only thing Alex says is, I respect this court, but I'm innocent. I would never under any circumstances hurt my wife, Maggie, and I would never under any circumstances hurt my son, Pawpaw. The judge knowingly says, and I know you have to see Maggie and your son, Paul, during the nighttime when you're attempting to go to sleep. I'm sure they have to come and visit you all day and every night and reflect on the last time they looked you in the eyes and you looked the jury in the eyes. Within your own soul, you have to deal with that. I remember Judge Newman saying that the Murdaugh men and family had lived decades of drugs, lies, and deception. Pause. I do not remember him saying this, but again, I'm no fact checker. Just telling you what I'm reading in the emails. But I do not actually remember him saying that about all of the Murdaugh men and family. I mean, let me know what you think about that in the comments. I'm sure I could go back to the sentencing and actually watch it if I wanted to, but who wants to do that? If he did say that, that would be very interesting. That the Murdaugh, I do remember him saying this part about the Murdaugh family controlled justice in this circuit for over a century. June 7th, 2021, you say it was just another ordinary day that wife and son were just enjoying life. Not credible, not believable. You can convince yourself, but you have the inability to convince anyone else about that. And Judge Newman asked twice, when will it end? When will it end? This story is continuing to be written. As I sit and watch the sentencing happen on YouTube, now I see and watch Alex's son, Buster, in the courtroom, sitting on the back row of the front section of the courtroom. I am troubled by the unaffected way that Buster appears. He is emotionless. It almost seems as if he is irritated to be there and is so ready to be out of that courtroom and apparently has other matters more important to be tended to. He just acts so irritated to be sitting here. This is the part that really disturbed me, really bothered me about her reporting or writing about this situation at all. If anything, Buster Murdaugh is the biggest victim in this situation. You know, his mother and brother, regardless of what your belief is as to who was responsible for them no longer being here, they are no longer here, right? And he is. And he's the one who had to sit through this trial where he appears, from his own words, to believe that his father was not guilty of these crimes. And so in that way, he's also a victim. You know, he's now lost his dad on top of the other two members of his family. So his entire family is gone now. For her to even comment on his appearance and to say anything negative about how he appeared in the courtroom is so incredibly inappropriate and insensitive and disgusting to me. I just cannot believe it. I think I read earlier, though, because, you know, I got the book, and it looks like I think she actually kind of changed that a little bit so that she said nicer things about him in the book. I hope I don't actually see this in the book because that would be so distasteful. Anyway, back to her writing. I watch as John Marvin, who is sitting right beside his nephew Buster, is having a different emotional makeup on his face. He is affected. He shakes his head in agreement with everything the judge is saying, hearing the judge sentence Alec to 2 life sentences to run concurrently. John Marvin's demeanor is hugely sad. His eyes are downcast, and I can see the love of a brother on his face. Then I see Alec's sister, Lynn Marvin Goatee. I don't know how you say that, so we're going to not say that again. Sitting on the same back pew of the rest of the family. She is the main reason the family was moved to that pew and was sent a warning through me as the clerk of court that one more action of breaking the judge's rules would result in being banned from being present in the courtroom. Lynn's countenance is hard. She is listening intently to Judge Newman as he addresses her brother. Her eyes are cold. She is constantly on guard. Why? I can't answer that. She has been the architect of her own design the entire time she has been here inside the courthouse and inside this courtroom. At her request, the court did give her and the family an office room downstairs to gather in during breaks and at the beginning of the day. She said she would be bringing her laptop to work on during the day for her job as a victim's advocate for the solicitor's office in Dorchester County. Lynn's job in that capacity gave her vast knowledge of all court rules and the do's and don'ts of dealing with victims and their families and the defendant themselves. There is really no feeling she is exuding, except the best way I know to describe her is cold, hard, unapproachable, critical, and important. As I re-watched the YouTube presentation of the sentencing of Alex, I paid close attention to Lynn, John Marvin, and Buster. Lynn's facial expressions seemed to be disagreeable with the judge. Lynn actually rolled her eyes when Judge Newman announced that Alex's life sentences would run consecutive. I still couldn't believe there wasn't any sympathy or concern for her brother and perhaps compassion of the life going forward her brother would be living. I just didn't see any of that. When will it end? I'm not sure it ever will. ... Okay, so now to the forwards of the upcoming, updated exhibit and witness list. On February 8th, she sent the witness list to Carol Gable at NBC. On February 7th, she sent the witness list to Fitz News, and and she said, "Keep on lowdown." I'm not sure that's what she meant though, but we get it. We get it. So it appears she picked like a different news organization to secretly release the updated witness list, exhibit and witness list to like every day so that, they could have the inside story for the day. Well, actually, I kind of lied because it appears that it wasn't just Fitz News she sent it to on that day. She also sent it to Janice McDonald with ABC on February 7th and so she actually sent these to them the morning of. So the updated witness list was sent out at 8:38 on February 6th, 8:38 p.m. And she sent them, she sent one to Fitz News and one to ABC in the morning. This one was at 9:37 a.m. And on this one, she said, "Keep on down low," which seems more like what she was trying to say in the last one. Also attached is the recent order of Judge Newman. Oh, and actually on February 8th, it appears she also shared the updated witness list bright and early. On February 8th, she shared the updated witness list with Fox, Rebecca Rosenberg with Fox, and said potential ... Okay, next, on February 22nd, wait. Sorry. On February 22nd, somebody named Stephanie sent her an email. It says, my cousin Ashley Kirkman and I traveled to Walterboro yesterday from Greensboro and Lexington, North Carolina, to attend the trial. It was a fascinating day, and we had the great pleasure of meeting you in the courtroom before the trial began. Due to our work schedules, we had to drive home last night, but we are hoping to return on Friday or Monday. You mentioned that we could reach out to you via email and request entry to the trial. Is that still possible? We got in line at 5:30 a.m. yesterday and had a great time meeting many kind and incredible people. But if there is a way to request a badge in advance, we would love that option. Thank you for your consideration. Sincerely, Stephanie. She wrote back, Stephanie, we can make sure you and friend have a badge. Just remind us at the door when you arrive who you are. You can also text me. Oh, and then she gives her phone number. When you are parked, that you are walking up. You may want to arrive and be parked by 8:45. And then she sends a message to her, Rebecca sends a message to Stephanie on February 24th and says, good morning. Please meet with a few others. So others are doing this at the side entrance door on Walter Street. On the door, there is a sign that says no entrance or do not enter, something like that. LOL. Either one of my staff or I will meet you there at 8:40 to bring you in as guests. So there you can see how she brings people in as her personal guests. Okay, if you want to go to pages in this document, like if you go to the actual PDF on the Fitz News site, you can see on 1230, like page 1230, 1232, and 1262, there are instances of her discussing the book with Neil and the photographer, the wife, I forgot her name all of a sudden, but during business hours, like while she's doing her clerk job, and about like a banner and stuff. There's also on Thursday, April 6th, and I didn't actually put down a page number, so I don't even know where to get this, but she sends an audio attachment of her. She sends this to Neil at 10:16 a.m. It's audio of her talking with Dr. Glenn Welker, who I think she said does security for her or something. And it appears that she like interviewed him basically for her book. And then she must have interviewed him when she got there that morning, I would assume, and then sends it over to Neil at 10:16 a.m. So that's what she was doing with her time. On page 1205 on April 8th, this says regarding note and chapters 7 and 8. This was from Becky to Neil, and it says, wow. I believe we make a great pair of writing authors. Question mark, question mark, question mark. I had the same question mark response when I read that. Oh, because this is in response to him saying, after reading your powerful account of the talk the judge gave, I am suggesting we give that its own chapter, 8, after the part about the judge and tragedies leading up to the trial, etc. 7. I added a few things you had shared in the tape recorder and a few things I found to chapter 8. Take a look at both attached, please. Next will be the attorneys, and I'll get that to you in the front to middle part of week. Okay, now correspondence between she and others after the motion for new trial. On September 7th, somebody emailed her named Teresa and says, Miss Becky, everyone knows that Dick, Jim, and Alec are liars and full of crap. Keep your head high and don't let them intimidate you with their claims. You are another pawn in their game, and it will reflect on them, not you, if you remain professional and poised. They are widely despised. You are admired. They make documentaries. Excuse me? And accuse others of wanting fame. Sadly, they have targeted you because they are desperate. Sending strength to you, Miss Becky. Miss Becky responds on the same day. Hi, Teresa. I'm sure we don't know each other, but your kind words have reached my heart and remind me of the hand that I am sadly playing with. Yes, they have targeted me and are running wild. However, the truth will win and the light will expose their darkness. Who has she been talking to, I wonder? I'm going to hold my head high as I know I have done nothing wrong. It is heartbreaking the lengths that these defense attorneys will go, and even sadder that many of the general public are not keen on how our judicial system works. Again, thank you for your encouragement. Maybe one day we will meet. In the meantime, I will continue doing my job, which I love, and fighting with all my might against these allegations. Sincerely, Becky. So it strikes me that she says that the public are not keen on how the judicial system works. Well, I mean, if this is how my judicial system was working, Miss Becky, I wouldn't be keen on it either. Because this, madam, is not how it's supposed to be working, my friend. And when I say this, I'm talking about your shenanigans specifically. That's what I'm talking about. Not about Dick and Jim. They're doing their job. Yeah. Because they're defense attorneys. Okay, so then we see on September 6th that she is asking somebody else. She says, "Good morning, Sherry. Could you please email me the Murdaugh jury list? I should be in later today, taking my MIL to doctor appointment. Thank you." And it's from Becky. Anyway, I think that is interesting that she's requesting the jury list after the motion for new trial was sent or was filed, because it specifically mentions jurors' numbers, right? And the allegations against her in the jury tampering situation. So it would appear to me that she then wanted to immediately get in contact with those jurors. But I don't know. That's obviously speculation on my part. I just found it to be. Okay. Hold on one more. Okay. Hello. Please make sure Becky Hill sees this email. I've been following the Alec Murdaugh investigation, arrest, and courtroom proceedings from the beginning, or close to it. I am shocked and disgusted at the motion filed by Dick and Jim on behalf of Alec Murdaugh. I do not believe the accusation leveled at you in this motion, and I cannot imagine how you must feel with all the criticism online and in the news. Remember, you are far stronger than you ever thought you could be. You have a lot of people that have your back. Collectively, we understand how simple allegations like this can ruin a long career. Again, we cannot imagine your feelings. You have our sympathy, and we are praying for Jesus to give you strength, courage, peace, and grace. I all think you did an awesome job keeping the whole circus of a trial running. Well, to be fair, she kind of turned it into a circus, if we're being honest. Walterboro Circuit Court came through as solid and organized and reaffirmed many people's faith in the system. Not mine. I see through the lies, innuendo, and half-truths of Dick and Jim's motion. I just wanted to say that may God bless you and keep you. Sincerely, the person that wrote this, right? So then so this was sent to her on September 12th, and she responded on September 12th. And she said, "Mr. Brown, I am overcome by much gratitude and thankfulness at the wonderful email of your encouragement. This attack has been tough, not going to lie. Our strength does come from our Lord Jesus, and He has held us and kept us through all of this. I'm not sure where you live or what you do, but you have brightened my spirits, and I know you are a believer, capital B, and you are doing what He, capital H, has led you to do. I can't talk about the whole case or investigation at the moment. However, in a very short time, I will be able to. I hope to reach back out to you. It will be worldwide again when there is an apology given to me from the defense team. Kindest regards, Becky Hill. Honey bunny, Becky boo, I do not think your apology is coming, ma'am. Sure don't. Sure don't. No apology. I could be wrong, but I don't think it's coming. Okay, on September 6th, somebody from the interview room sends her a message. Hi, Becky. We'd like to invite you on as a guest on the Interview Room podcast to talk about the Alec Murdaugh murders and your new book. The podcast is hosted by my husband, Chris McDonough, a retired homicide detective who has worked 300 plus murder cases in his career, or murders. He is also a director with the Cold Case Foundation, serving as a consultant to law enforcement on active and cold homicide cases. Thanks so much for your consideration. I hope we can work something out. She responds on the 7th. Karen, when I am able to talk, I hope and pray you will still welcome me to talk. We will have much to say. Sincerely, Becky Bloom Hill. Of course, sent from the Colleton County email. And then Karen responds on the 7th and says, Hi, Becky. You have a standing invitation to come on our program anytime you can. We air on Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern, but we also can record a show anytime during the week. Let's stay in touch. And then, of course, she goes ahead and forwards this email to Neil Gordon so that they, and so that they can remember to reach back out to her. Okay, on September 5th, Rebecca Lim wrote, Dear Miss Rebecca Hill, I hope this email finds you well. I'm writing to express my sincere hope that the recent accusations against you alleging tampering with the Murdaugh murder trials are false. I understand that such allegations can be incredibly distressing, and I believe in the importance of due process and the presumption of innocence until proven guilty. It's actually unless, but okay. As the clerk of court of Colleton County, South Carolina, you hold a position of great responsibility in ensuring the fairness and integrity of our justice system. Your dedication to upholding the law and serving the community has been evident in your years of service. I trust the legal process will thoroughly investigate these accusations and the truth will ultimately prevail. It is essential for all individuals involved to have a fair and impartial opportunity to present their side of the story. Only through a transparent and just process can we ensure that justice is served. I want to encourage you to stay strong during this challenging time and remain confident in the legal system's ability to address and resolve such matters appropriately. I hope that you can find support from colleagues, friends, and your community during this difficult period. Please know that my thoughts are with you, and I sincerely hope that the accusations are proven false, allowing you to continue your valuable service to our community with the trust and respect you have earned over the years. If there is anything I can do to offer support or assistance, please do not hesitate to reach out. I believe in the principle of fairness and the importance of maintaining the public's trust in our justice system. Wishing you strength and resilience in these trying times. Sincerely, Rebecca Lim. And that's a pretty good email, actually. I agree with like everything she said there, except maybe the parts about her earned trust or whatever in the community. But I don't know. It appeared the community, most of them did actually trust her. Dear Rebecca, wait, when did she send this back? On the 8th of November. Oh, okay. So she waited until November 8th to write her back. And she said, Dear Rebecca, thank you for your support back on September 5th and even now today. I don't know that Rebecca sent her another email saying she supported her now today, though, unless maybe she called her or something. Who knows? I knew then that the allegations against me were 100% false, but my attorneys advised me to remain silent until we could gather our evidence together. I listened to them. If big if, in caps, an evidentiary hearing is held, I will be able to speak after that. So until then, I remain dedicated to the position of clerk of court and will trust the judicial process. Kindest regards, I am clerk of court, Colleton County. Weird. Well, if there is an evidentiary hearing, she says. Well, it is. There's one coming. I think it's January 29th, so you're right. On November 16th, Yvette Grist wrote, Dear Miss Hill, you don't know me, but I reside in Mount Pleasant and am a Charleston native. Witnessing the Murdaugh trial, I was truly impressed by the grace and hospitality you exhibited on a global scale. Thank you for portraying South Carolina in such a positive light. I was deeply disturbed by the accusations leveled against you by Dick Harpootlian and the harm it has inflicted on your character. You certainly did not deserve such abuse and defamation. I strongly encourage you to take a stand and defend yourself. I recommend reaching out to an attorney who can help restore your name. Columbia-based attorney Eric Bland, a steadfast supporter of yours, would likely be enthusiastic about representing you in a defamation case. Please consider contacting him. As a South Carolina citizen, I am disheartened by Dick Harpootlian's actions and want you to know that I believe in the purity of your heart. Sincerely, Yvette Grist. Well, how does she know that Eric Bland is a steadfast supporter of hers? Did he say that? Is he saying that? She responds, Thank you so much. I needed this today. Maybe I should reach out to Eric Bland. I believe good does win out in the end. And although sometimes the end takes a while in coming, I'm thankful for your belief in me, and you don't even know me. It's been tough, but by the grace of God, I'm keeping my head high. Thank you. Kind regards, Becky. Well, I believe that, yeah, I don't know about good and evil and all that stuff. I mean, it all kind of seems relative, to be honest. But in this case, not sure you're on the side of good, Miss Becky. So I'm not sure if you really want good to win out, right? But again, like I said, it's relative. So obviously, she thinks she's on the side of good. She's not, though. On October 24th, Laura Collins from Mail Online writes, Hi, Becky. I hope you had a good weekend. Oh, I think later we're going to see there's more to this, like earlier. I tried calling as planned on Friday, but it rang out. Let me know if there's another time you're free to chat. In the meantime, I'm checking to see if there have been any new filings or if there's a date set for the evidentiary hearing yet. Thank you, Laura. Laura, let's try to reconnect this afternoon. No new filings, no dates set yet. I'm wondering myself. Okay, so earlier on November 7th, Becky had sent Laura the state's motion or response to the Murdaugh defense team and motions to strike, and she wrote back and said, P.S. I sent a follow-up. Laura wrote back and said, P.S. I sent a follow-up, but wow, that's some loud music going down the street. Sorry. Okay. I don't think it sent as I was on the subway. Just saying, I really do appreciate you keeping me in the loop on this and the evidentiary hearing. I'm sure you will be very glad when this is all put to bed. Laura, yes, it's not a natural way of living for me, and I like to live life by the 4 agreements. Remaining quiet has been both positive and negative. However, remaining quiet has given so many the impression that they can go on believing the lies that have been set forth by Dick and Jim. Every single word they have uttered has been lies. How do lawyers, senators, i.e., get away with something like this? It's just corruption. And sadly, many people don't want the search for truth. I have a lot to say. LOL. Thanks for your time to listen and correspond. I think we could be great friends. Stay warm and safe. Kind regards, Rebecca. Laura responds, I agree. I know you really don't have any choice right now, but when this is all over, you'll be free to speak if you want. And I'd love you to consider speaking with me, but that's for another day. Have a good weekend and talk soon. And Becky responds, you know I will. Thanks. Well, where's the beginning of this? That's very annoying. Okay, so then, hold on one. Okay, on November 28th, somebody said, Hi, Becky. I used to be a news editor, and I follow on TikTok a woman who goes by the account A Day in the Life of Corey, or so she put Corey with one eye or Corey with 2 eyes. Anyway, she is slandering you on her evening lives at 5:10 p.m. Eastern almost daily. If I were you, I would have my attorney send her a letter to cease and desist. With much respect, Trish Brown. Trish, I am very thankful for you and your willingness to help a stranger. I've looked at her account and have sent the info to my attorney's attention. With kind regards, Becky Hill. So that's the thing that I was telling y'all about. Okay, unfortunately, I think I promised more, but this video is crazy long, too long, and I'm gonna have to quit for today. Sorry, guys, call me a quitter. I will have another one for you guys shortly. Maybe we'll do a live, not sure. I'm still super afraid of the lives, so we'll have to wait and see. But for now, I hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you're not subscribed, and do all your YouTube things. Also, I have a playlist for the Becky Hill email dumps, so go check those out if you haven't. Thanks for watching. Bye.